there's people on the internet who don't like us. Do you consider them enemies?
Yes.
You do?
No, I'm just kidding.
What's up, you guys? And what about school? But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Julyssa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brendan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
How y'all doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. Wow, I'm back.
Finally.
How are you doing, Brendan?
I'm doing pretty good.
Julie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Louder.
How do I do it? I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. Guys, for those of you watching at home, tomorrow's 4th of July.
Well, for us.
Yeah. For us.
For them, it's
It's probably been
I
past.
think it's like the 10th for them.
Yeah. Do you guys feel in the mood to celebrate the 4th of
No.
July?
There's nothing to celebrate.
Brandon? Are you going to
Yeah.
cook up on, some hot
I
dogs?
feel like 4th of July is like Thanksgiving, where it's not like I celebrate it. It's more like an excuse to throw some shit on the grill. And it's a
Real.
day off, so I mean.
True, we get a
whatever.
day off. We all get to...
At work.
Oh, you work? Oh, because you work with
Those fascists?
Those fascists.
I'm not working there,
that-
actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Because
My bad.
they don't give us holiday pay. They don't recognize 4th of July as a holiday.
Ironic.
Right? Crazy. But I'm working at my other job, which they actually are gonna give us holiday pay.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna work at the place
Oh yeah,
that pays
I don't
me
have
overtime.
to. I don't have to go into the lab either. The
Damn.
lab is closed.
Those poor
Yeah.
dinosaur bones, bro.
They're mammals, bro. Actually, did you know at the liberated tar pits they're not considered fossils? They're considered bones.
Oh, is it because they're not old enough?
Yeah.
Oh, is it because let me try to big brain this. Is it because fossils are technically like filled with rocks and sediment, and bones obviously are still have the bone density like calcium and stuff?
Yeah. Wow. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of those fascists, though, I forgot. I forgot
Speaking
about
of
it.
those fascists.
Do you remember? Did you see they banned George Lopez or they
Yeah.
blocked
Oh
him
yeah.
Did you hear that they're getting sued?
by George Lopez?
No, by what's
Oh,
his
they
name?
are getting sued.
Stephen Miller or
Yeah.
whatever his name
What
is.
is that?
I don't know who he is, but he's this guy that like is in
I bet our
government.
audience
That he's
knows.
in government and like
For what?
he's horrible. Like
Oh.
I've heard that he's like a horrible.
Yeah, I've heard a
like-
lot of
Like
controversial
he's
shit
a
about him.
horrible like Republican or
So
some
no
shit.
matter who wins, we lose.
Yeah,
Oh.
and fucking the guy who owns the fascist, No, I can't say.
The displacers.
Yeah, the fascist.
he owns Guggenheim,
Yeah, they get. He has interest in.
which is like an interesting
in
name.
the ice, like in the ice raids and stuff.
Isn't ICE suing them too?
No, it's the guy. The guy.
That's Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller is
Oh.
suing the
The displacers.
team. Yeah, the team because I guess something about like their DEI like shit, and they're going against like some other shit, and so they're suing them for that, and people are
Yeah.
also saying because of like the whole like them helping ICE or not helping ICE is what got them in trouble or some shit.
Yeah, it says conservative legal group files federal complaint over LA Dodgers DEI policies. I'll read a little bit of it. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, along with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, has filed a federal civil rights complaint against the LA Dodgers and Guggenheim partners. Guggenheim. This sounds like when the sound you make when you drink water. You know what I mean? Yeah, basically some bullshit. I'm not gonna read all
No
this.
matter who wins, we lose.
Some bullshit. Literally some bullshit.
Basically,
So thoughts on them banning George Lopez? I mean, they didn't ban him. They just blocked him.
Yeah,
they
it was-
blocked him on Instagram.
Should I bring up his tweets?
Gilo?
Yeah, G-Lo's tweets. Should I?
Oh, it's on Twitter?
Yeah, it was on.
Uh,
I think it was on Twitter. Lopez.
I only saw the
Oops.
screenshots on Instagram.
I think it was because of.
Maybe he posted it on Instagram. Should I
Uh,
look? Does he have an Instagram?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's the one who.
That's the one where I shared them to you guys
Yeah.
about what he said.
George Lopez. Oh, yeah, he You want me to
Okay.
read it? I can read it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Maybe since the Dodgers have stayed silent on the issue of the treatment and enforcement of ICE government on the Latino community, maybe at the next fan fest or homestand, they can have ICE agents or these bounty hunters dress up as the visiting team. And during the 7th inning stretch, they can remove fans since their loyalty to the team means nothing to them. Throwing money at it with silence. At Alex Padilla. By the way, the Dodgers blocked me on social media for my criticism of the team. So they'll take a stand on me, but not on the treatment of the families who called Chavez Ravine home before they decided to build a baseball stadium where they lived and where their families called home. Also, no comment from the owners. What's happening every day to the families of the people who are being treated like they don't belong? If anyone doesn't belong, it's the Dodgers.
Sheesh. Well, okay. There's a lot to kind of unpack. Maybe not a lot, but there's a few things to unpack.
Yeah.
I will give credit where credit is due. George Lopez is a sort of popular star, kind of mainstream guy. A lot of people haven't said shit, but he has. I'll give credit there. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, he's had his own share of controversy in the past with, I think...
With friend of the show, Ralph Barbosa.
With friend of the show, Ralph follows us. So...
Yeah.
Ralph,
I mean,
if you're watching this.
I don't know. You know how some... I don't mean that any kind of way. You know how some people get offended with that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry, Ralph. Don't unfollow us.
Stop saying I'm a friend of your show.
Sorry. No, you're not. No, you're not.
So
but we admire you.
Is that the only thing that he's been controversial? Or
he cheated on his wife or something?
It depends on what you consider controversial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he cheated on his wife.
Let me see. I'll look up to see if there's anything else.
Well,
but
I feel like for George Lopez, he's always been outspoken, and for I guess his people, especially in like these times, and he's always been outspoken about how much he hates Trump too.
Yeah.
So like, it's not surprising for him to, I guess, call out, the team, because I think he's always been for protecting his people, especially when it comes to like immigration. I think he's always been that way, especially when it was the start of Trump always talking shit about immigrants and Mexicans. George Lopez has always been outspoken about that. Yeah. So it's not really surprising, but it is crazy that he got blocked.
It is crazy. It's crazy that he just is calling them out too on such a large stage, you know?
I just think it's I don't know. Well, there's so much, but like I feel like the displacers are like allergic to good PR. You know?
Yeah, true.
You would think they would just be like whatever. They're just trying to like,
Yeah.
Like they just don't know how to do good PR.
True.
Yeah. And he has 1.4 million followers on Instagram, which is where he kind of screenshotted and posted this.
I mean, yeah. I'm glad that they're getting called out. And no people aren't.
I mean, a lot of people have called them out.
Yeah.
Like especially like Becky G called the team out, especially after like.
Did Becky G really do? I was literally gonna say like.
Yeah.
It's cool. Friend of the show as well.
She reposted us that one time.
Twice. No, didn't she like? Oh, no, she liked the reel.
Oh yeah.
She liked the reel and she reposted one of our reels.
On the show. All these people will be. Man, all right. Thank you for the support. I'm not mad.
I'll take the repost.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I'll send you guys the screenshot.
Because I'll say John Leguizamo also.
Yeah.
Get on the show, bro. Let's talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk to you. Let's pick your brain.
A lot of friends of the show.
We have a lot of friends, guys.
Yeah.
But so I'll give him credit. Obviously, he did talk shit about Ralph and also just pushed kind of that like generational trauma of like don't help out the next generation.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have help, which is just a common older Mexican idea. But at least he does still stick up for the people where it matters most. So I kind of want to give him at least that much of credit. You know, I will give him that.
You know what though? I will say. I mean, we briefly touched on it when what was it, 2 episodes ago? I think it's strange how all the other LA teams haven't said anything either.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers haven't said anything, which I think
now they especially won't say nothing.
Yeah, they won't. Which I mean, I guess they're sliding because they haven't said anything in either direction. The Dodgers are stupid because the displacers are stupid because they kind of be showing support to ICE, which is weird. But I don't know. I don't know. I find it weird the Lakers haven't said anything.
Well, I think for them it's not surprising, specifically with like the displacers, because like, they have law enforcement day. Like you can tell that they're very for law enforcement, and like
our Lakers about to have
and they're very patriotic, which is crazy because like knowing more the interior of like no holiday pay or whatever. So it's like, so y'all love it, but
did the Dodgers did the displacers do anything for
just stop, bro.
Did they do anything for Black Lives Matter? Like when it happened? Did they? or when that movement was at its peak?
The only thing that I can remember is I think Mookie Betts took a knee during the anthem. But I can't remember if it was during also like the George Floyd stuff. So I can't exactly remember what time that was, but I remember he did that sort of thing during that time.
Yeah.
Cause like I was thinking about that this morning. Cause I was like the Lakers. Well, specifically also with the NFL. I mean, the NFL has always been controversial, right?
Yeah.
Like when Colin Kaepernick took the knee and they basically banned him from the NFL. Like the NFL is known to be very, like anti all these things.
Yeah.
Especially for people of color. And the NBA, I'm kind of shocked because I feel like they were always the type to be a little more outspoken about certain things.
Yeah.
But also like, I mean, when the whole like stuff with Gaza is happening, they spoke out about Israel. Yeah. Like they were for Israel. And I mean, they've always been like, they wear the Black Lives Matter shirts. But I just feel like, I think that's what confuses me as to why they're not outspoken now.
Yeah.
Like what's so, I don't know. The only thing that I can say is that they agree to what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess it's very just disappointing in like that there's nothing being said by these teams.
Yeah. Like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rams. I feel like, I think it's lame that they haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Considering all the support that they get from the community.
Yeah.
I get, like I get why the Dodgers get the most heat because, all their history and then the actions they take. But
and I mean, they're the ones who are in the current, like, their season's going on right now.
No, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure if basketball season was going on, people would be like, Lakers say something.
Yeah.
What can you do?
And I think that's why they've been able to sort of get away from it. Because of the fact that their season hasn't started.
Well, I guess the thing too is like there's always talk that the NBA wants to put a team in Mexico City. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. It's just I wish they would say something a little more.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. Where it's surprising that they haven't said anything. I don't know. The switch up is crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird how all of a sudden nobody wants to say anything about Trump.
It's because there's probably some dirt or some shit on them.
Well, they have the same owner now, so I'm doubting.
Well, I think it's also the fact that Trump is always threatening of like, I'm gonna take this away or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think the owners also specifically, they're billionaires. Like,
well, I think the owner's a big Trump supporter, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a billionaire.
But I think it came out like on the news or some shit where he donated like a fuck ton of money to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, in the picture, he's
the owner, the one that just bought him.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
The Dodgers.
I mean, he was there. Yeah. Well, when they went to the White House. He's all smiling.
Did you guys see that video too? Where like I think the Dodgers owner and has like some profit or incentive for like the ice raids.
Yeah, for like I think like a surveillance company or something.
Right, something like that.
So he's basically benefiting from the ice raids. Yeah. Allegedly,
because I don't want to get sued, especially that guy has so much fucking money. But that's just so crazy. That's just so crazy,
this is
bro.
all alleged.
All alleged. In Minecraft or whatever.
But I guess moving on more into like what we brought for the show today. I guess I'll start this off mainly because this just happened yesterday. As of the time of this recording, as we are here, I'm sure you guys heard about this. Sean Diddy Combs acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering, convicted on prostitution-related counts. Sorry.
I think it's crazy, man.
That he's basically scot-free.
Yeah.
Horrible. I hope he rots.
That's crazy.
This is from CBS News. How did Sean Diddy Combs react to the verdict? As the jury, foreperson announced not guilty in racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charge involving Combs' former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura. The R&B singer known as Cassie Combs put his hands to his face, his fingers resting on his temples. When he heard the word guilty for count 3, the first prostitution-related charge, he was startled, but then not guilty came for the second sex trafficking count involving another former girlfriend. Combs held hands with attorney Tenny Gergas and leaned in to talk to her. Combs looked at his family, made prayer hands. He nodded as each juror affirmed the verdict, shaking his fist triumphantly under the table. He made prayer hands to the jury, hugged his lawyer, and smiled. He mouthed thank you to returning Mark Agnifilo. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, man. Basically got away with it.
Did you guys see the video of the people celebrating it outside?
No, I didn't.
I saw, I think, his family doing push-ups or some shit outside.
I don't.
But
Was that his family? I thought that was just like his fans.
Because I think one of them was like, "Oh, I'm happy, like my dad is coming home" or some shit like that.
Oh, so that was him. They were throwing baby oil at each other.
I saw that. I heard that. Yeah, too.
That's crazy.
I need to show you.
I didn't know. Same thing. I didn't know if that was real. I thought that was just like people.
It's real, bro.
People were just overly exaggerating.
Is there like NBC News has posted it? Diddy supporters celebrate outside court with baby oil. Look, they're all pouring baby oil on each other.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
People are sick, bro.
It's just Combs' use of baby oil and various sex acts was a frequent topic of testimony. There's a girl in the middle dancing and they're pouring like baby oil on her. And there was also a guy.
That's crazy.
Let me see what the comments say. Exactly how I pictured his supporters. This world is disgusting. Why is evil always winning? Diddy supporters?
He probably snitched. But I don't mean that in like a bad way. I mean like in a good way or whatever. How do I mean that? I don't mean like oh he's a snitch.
Why are you asking me, bro? You're the one who said it.
I mean like
no, I get what you're meaning. I'm pretty sure
you know how people say
there's something fishy.
You know how people say like oh they snitched, they mean it like oh that bastard. I mean like I just mean like he probably did a plea deal.
Yeah, 100%. But like a behind the scenes one, cause or plea deals public?
I don't know, man. Who knows, bro?
Or he's
a
rich.
billionaire. We looked it up while we were getting coffee.
Somebody said that he probably gave each juror like money.
Dude, I remember hearing that he was like staring at the jurors during the whole trial, and the judge told him stop.
If I'm
that he was like,
Was it?
Well, go ahead, Julie.
Allegedly.
Because I keep thinking like, is it more that they were just scared that he was gonna do something to them?
I don't know. What I heard. Let me see. I had read something about how apparently a lot of the jurors just didn't believe that these women were being taken advantage of. That a lot of them saw them as willing participants.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Did you see that?
I think I had heard something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just kind of the same thing with the OJ trial. I think jurors just don't believe them.
I think what somebody had said was that people don't understand consent of like somebody can say yes in the beginning, but then during or whenever it is, they can say no. And I think people don't understand, I guess, that way of like they can be okay with it at first and then later they can change their mind.
Or things like coercion.
Yeah, I just feel like the jurors probably just don't understand consent and of how somebody can say yes in the beginning and then eventually kind of change their mind. I think for them, they just saw it as like they consented. Like they said, yeah, like they said that they were fine with this. So like, what's the issue now?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think.
Or even like coercion, right? Because
Yeah.
he's a very powerful figure.
Yeah.
Who can affect your career.
Yeah. But that's why I think there's a part of me that also thinks that some of them were probably scared.
Intimidated.
Yeah. Especially if like he's staring at them. They were probably just like.
Also, I'm surprised. I mean, again, I don't know how this works. I'm not a lawyer. But I'm surprised nothing ever happened with the Kid Cudi thing. Where he tried to put a bomb in Kid Cudi's car.
That was one of the charges that got dropped, remember? Arson?
Yeah, but isn't that... I just think that's crazy. Isn't that like attempted murder?
Yeah.
And Kid Cudi went to go testify?
Yeah.
The thing is, if Diddy does walk free, and right now, because of everything that's happened, I really do believe he will.
Yeah.
I just wonder, what does normalcy look like for him? I really doubt anybody would want to associate.
I think it's kind of like a modern day OJ trial.
That's what people were saying.
Yeah. Well, I also think another thing that probably played a hand in it was Trump saying that he would look into pardoning him.
Yeah.
Remember that? And he was like, if I feel like it's not a fair trial, and they haven't asked me or whatever, I can't imagine how that didn't play a factor.
And I feel like people are gonna throw the card of like he was guilty. Like he was not guilty.
He was
like
acquitted.
like he's innocent. Like he didn't actually do those things. And I think that's how people are gonna, what is it? What's the word? Like excuse them hanging out with Diddy. Is that they're like, bro, he was found not guilty. Like he's cool. Like,
I just think it's crazy because they got Harvey Weinstein, but not him. It's basically the same kind of story.
Well, and the good news, for us, maybe when this comes out, we'll already know the sentencing, whatever he gets. I think he can serve a maximum of 10 to 20 years, a minimum of no prison time. This article was talking about how he got denied bail. I don't know if you guys knew that, but after the verdict was in, he got denied bail. So some people interpret that as the judge themselves is gonna give a harsher punishment because doesn't probably align with the jurors.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew this either. I had seen this before the trial. But I thought it was gonna be nothing. I thought it was just one of those misinformation things. Apparently, some of the jurors sent like a note to the judge saying that the judge needs to step in because whatever is happening is not good. Basically, implying that they knew that the jury was gonna find him not guilty of most of the counts, and the jurors that did think he was guilty were like, "Bro, ref, do something." Ref, do something, please. So I like to believe, hopefully, maybe the judge at least gives him 10 years, at the very least. Still, he deserves for sure life, but I hope he at least gets like 10. I'll settle for 10 years, right?
I hope he gets life.
He's not gonna get life. I think maximum 20 years. I mean, 20 years is technically life, no?
Yeah.
Life is 25 years, I think.
I'm just surprised that he didn't even get the racketeering charge because the government got involved with that. Doesn't the government really take racketeering seriously?
He must have taken like a plea deal or something. He must have snitched out somebody.
Huh?
What is that?
Racketeering is like guns, right?
Yeah, racketeering is like organized like basic crime.
Okay.
It's like organizing crime, which can go for a lot of things, either guns or supplying people with a group of people with guns, supplying people with like prostitution, human trafficking.
Yeah.
So, but apparently it is a very serious thing to be charged with, and also a really thing to actually be like convicted of.
Makes sense. That's crazy, man.
It's like one of the hardest ones to be convicted of, I think. Yeah.
I just feel bad for
the victims.
I do, yeah. Yeah, it says incarceration. Combs still can face up to 20 years in prison on the 2 counts that he was convicted of.
He got convicted of soliciting prostitution, right?
Yeah.
And then what was the other one?
It was 2 counts of soliciting prostitution.
Oh.
It was the same thing. He basically he did it twice. Did you see those pictures that are going viral of Diddy's lawyer, where he looks like a real life Saul Goodman? He's like iced out. He's like has like a picture on his Instagram of him like dressed up like in like this fucking like
you need a
Gucci down to the socks.
That's crazy, man.
A sweater and like hoodie.
Also, did he try to flee the country?
Yeah.
That's I don't know.
But it's because he knew that they just want to take him down. They want to take down another innocent rich man. You know, some bullshit like that.
That's crazy, man.
It really shows you the justice system has so many fucking flaws, dude.
Yeah. If you're rich in America, you could do anything, basically. Allegedly or whatever.
Damn. Combs' attorney says that he'll get his life back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane how people celebrated, though.
That they were like doing all fucking baby oil. I know. People brought this up. I was like, who the fuck is a fan of Diddy? Even before all this shit.
Yeah.
I had never heard of anybody being a fan of Diddy. Right?
No.
Who the fuck? Name 5 Diddy songs right now. No?
I think the one
I know he has one with Keisha Cole.
There's the one that's most famous, which is the Missing You. The one about Biggie.
Oh, yeah.
The one about what?
Missing You. The one about Biggie Smalls. Where when Biggie died.
Every breath you take, every
got,
song you
he got sued for that, though.
Yeah, he did. He still pays to this day, probably.
Yeah, he still pays to this day.
He got sued?
Well, because he didn't ask for permission to sample the song. So he pays every day. Or he pays, like, he still to this day has to pay for that song.
So.
Were you looking up songs?
No, I'm not looking up songs. I'm just getting ready for the next one.
The next topic?
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys have heard. Probably have, because you guys are from the future listening. And I wanted to bring up Alligator Alcatraz. Have you guys heard anything about it?
Just in passing,
I've
honestly.
seen the pictures of like the beds and the cages.
Yeah, I've seen the fences and stuff, but I didn't know about why it was called Alligator Alcatraz until you told me earlier today.
Yeah, he's apparently flying like actual alligators into the like facility.
It's also in Florida, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that's why it was called.
I thought so too. I thought he called it Alligator Alcatraz because it's just a jail that's in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. It says this from NBC News. Despite promises of FEMA funds, Florida has so far received no federal money for Alligator Alcatraz. So, let's see. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown. We don't know as much because this is all new information to us too. So we are gonna actively be doing the research.
I have seen that people, and again, you can probably check this once you do the research. I have been seeing people talk about that they created that facility in like 8 days, and people were having the argument of like, so you can build this facility in 8 days, but you can't help homeless people, like building them places to live and stuff like that. That's the thing that I've been seeing the most about it. But I don't know how long it actually took them because I didn't really research, but at least that's something that I've been seeing a lot of people share is that it took almost a week just to build that whole facility.
Yeah. Really? I don't know that. Damn. Okay, so Alligator Alcatraz is a newly constructed immigration detention center facility in the Florida Everglades, located at Dade. Oh, should I dox them? Located at Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport near Ocho P, Florida. The sprawling site spans approximately 39 square miles of Big Cypress National Preserve and is surrounded by wild alligators, pythons, swamps, and wetlands with natural barriers intended to deter escape. I gotta see what the fuck this looks like. So this is from the Washington Post. To be fair, Donald Trump didn't come up with the name Alligator Alcatraz. Oh my God, they're asking me to subscribe. I'm not gonna read all that shit. Anyways, oh yeah, you're right. Built rapidly in 8 to 10 days in late June 2025, using emergency powers invoked by Florida Governor DeSantis. Isn't that dude always doing some crazy shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says the initial capacity is around 3,000 to 5,000 detainees, with modular expansion planned in 500 bed increments. Features chain link enclosure, more than 200 security cameras, 28,000 feet of barbed wire, 400 guards, and 24/7 air conditioning. That's funny. That's from AP News. Who's behind it? Championed by former President Donald Trump, supported by Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida AG James Altmaier, and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. That's from the Washington Post. Built using state emergency powers with Florida funding initially, federal reimbursement is planned later. So they don't have the funding for it. They're just like the government's going to pay for it later. Yeah. So the purpose of the messaging design as a deterrence tool for unauthorized migrants, the best natural perimeter money can't buy. Trump called it so professional, joking about teaching detainees to run away from an alligator. Did you see that video? Yeah, some girl was saying that like she wants to build more of these, right, and have like 65 million people. Also.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted. I don't know who she is, but she's a rep for something. And I think, and she tweeted alligator lives matter, and then I think she put alligators are now gonna have 65 million meals or something like that.
Jesus.
And people were pointing out that they're like, basically what she's saying, because people made research on what the 65 million number is, and people found that they were like, she's not talking about immigrants because there's not 65 million immigrants in the country. There's 65 million Latinos in the country. So basically she's implying that she basically wants all of the Latinos gone.
Like whether illegal or not, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I saw not that long ago, basically they're taking a big step in the direction of birthright citizenship being completely gone, right?
Yeah.
It was complicated, but if I'm understanding it right, basically what they ruled was birthright citizenship or smaller courts can make decisions on birthright citizenship, right?
I think so.
Right?
I think that's what it was, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Man, that's crazy. It's scary. I mean, I can't. It's so brutal to me that it's almost. I guess when I heard Alligator Alcatraz, I don't even know what it was about. I thought it was like an AI thing.
Oh, you thought it was just like something made up?
Yeah, but not like because I don't believe that they would do
No,
that,
of course,
but
of course.
like just because it's so shocking.
Yeah, I know. Like, especially, it's like, it's not just shocking. I feel like it's also comedic in the sense that, like, they're really going to get fucking alligators and, like, put them around this pool along with pythons and all this stuff. Like, well, one thing, didn't Alcatraz shut down because it was immensely expensive and kind of just, like, same thing, like, just overkill?
I mean, they're didn't they just say that they're not really using money or something like that? Like, they're like, the government will pay for it later or whatever.
Well, I just think the amount of like effort that they're willing to put in just to target migrants is kind of alarming. But it's been alarming. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Let me see if I can find the. I'm looking for the tweet of the person.
Someone.
It's Laura Loomer. I don't know who that is. But they tweeted, alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now.
Jesus.
That's crazy, bro.
And then people searched that they were like, there's 65, like, is she implying about like immigration, you know, about immigrants? And then people were like, oh, there's 65 million Latinos who live in the United States.
How is that
Not
allowed?
immigrant.
How is that allowed for her to say that, man?
Like, just on a general basis?
Yeah, like, how is that allowed? It's shocking, man.
Yeah, I think to me, it's
We've come a long way, bro.
It's just overly disappointing of like the people who I guess voted for this.
Yeah.
And the people who are still in support of just all this, because I'm just like how is there no empathy for humanity? You know, like how can you guys not see how wrong this is?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, I guess no. Actually, I don't get it. I don't get any of it. Like, I don't get why you can be so cruel to just humans in general. Like, how can you want any of this to happen? Like, just with anything, with like immigration now, with everything that's happening with the Palestinian people. Like, I just don't understand how any of that you can find okay with. I even saw a TikTok where somebody was like trying to justify what's happening with the Palestinian people, saying like the people of Israel deserve to live there because like where else are they gonna go? But then it's like, what about the Palestinian people? Like why is it their fault to like be going through all the inhumane stuff that they're being treated at?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think to me also the whole because I've been seeing people, especially when the whole birthright thing is happening, they're like, oh, they should come for us, or like they should come for the people who voted for this. But I'm like, you guys don't understand that like the people who voted for this are not actually probably getting, or maybe some of them are, but I feel like for the most part, it's a lot of innocent people that didn't choose this.
Yeah.
And I think people don't, I'm like, you guys just have to understand that like, as much as we want them to get karma, right, for who they voted for all their beliefs and stuff, there's still innocent people who are getting harmed through all of these things. Yeah. And it's just so disappointing to see.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's also just fantastical. Like, I just think the concept of having like a facility surrounded by like
alligators.
It reminds me in like James Bond where they tie them up and have them in shark infested waters.
Yeah.
It just feels like so idiotic. Like, it feels like I almost can't even feel like I don't know, angry, but more just kind of like
it's I mean,
it feels ridiculous.
It's a lot of things too. It's dehumanizing.
Yeah.
It's been dehumanizing, but I think it's dehumanizing to have people in like, I don't know. I just the implications of what all that means is like, for what, for so an illegal immigrant, right, is so bad in your mind that you need to surround them in a cage. You need to put them in a cage surrounded by alligators.
Yeah.
That's how bad that is to you in your mind. I don't know. That's crazy to me. Giant red flag, but I mean, we said that for a while.
I'm just like, to them, they're very much saying this is what they deserve because of the things
Yeah,
that they've been
right.
doing. And it's like, what? It's like, I don't know.
Well,
to me, I just can't. I just don't get it. Like,
Well,
I just don't get why.
I think what frustrates me is like I think the government and Trump and whatever. I think obviously they're horrible people, but it angers me that this is all just propaganda, and there's people who genuinely believe that immigrants are the problem.
Yeah.
Like, and the immigrants are why you can't get a job, or the immigrants are why your life is shitty or whatever, you know. And I think it's frustrating that these powerful people, billionaires, rich, monarchs, basically, can just say, I mean, just to get it off me, why don't we just make them mad at the Latinos and the immigrants, because it's not just Latinos, right? It's immigrants too, in general.
Like, think about how much money he's gonna use from the big beautiful bill on just ICE services when like there's so many other shit that we could use.
Yeah. I mean, he's taking that away from like healthcare.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like, I understand, like, I hate him, but I'm so upset at the people who genuinely fall for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, who genuinely, like, blindly will be like, no, this makes total sense when it just doesn't. You know?
Yeah, especially because like it only really benefits people who are rich, and most of the people who are like such big advocates for Trump
are not rich,
just normal people,
are just not rich.
Like, are the ones who are gonna be affected the most in a negative light. I mean,
never see that amount of money in their entire lives, you know, which isn't a bad thing, but like, I don't, it's not benefiting you, you know.
Yeah, I always feel like people can't I guess grasp or don't understand that we're all more likely to fall into homelessness than to like become rich and millionaires. Like, and I think the way the economy is going is like how you said, like, I think they're trying to find somebody to blame for everything, but in reality the person to blame is the government. Like, they're the ones who aren't handling anything right, and why the economy is trash.
But and it's also like that's a historical phenomenon too. Like picking a what do you call it? A demographic, an uncertain demographic to blame all of the issues on, and to get the public to turn on. You know what I mean? That's what I find annoying, is it's like play by play, just that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? But I also think just in general too, that kind of treatment towards, I don't know why this is a hot take, but like towards prisoners, because I was this awesome TikTok take of like, you obviously want, like, if you care about human rights, like the prisoners and the underserved, and I mean what do you call it? The most vulnerable in society, they need to have rights or and be protected, because you never know when you could become that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people who've been arrested for who are completely legal. You know what I mean? So it's just something like that. Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, elaborate more.
Like, I just think in general, having that kind of prison period is very alarming. Like, I think that kind of treatment, I don't really care the crime, is kind of alarming. Because before you know it, the definition of what's a crime and what's could justify you being there is a slippery slope, it seems. You get what I mean?
Yeah, because I also see it as like the next thing it's gonna start being like kind of like, I guess, in the old times when there was like torture and all that, where they're like, it's okay, like, he's a prisoner, like his life doesn't matter, like, why do you guys care what we're doing to them, or that we're treating them, we're making them starve or whatever. They're prisoners. They're what do you say? Like, they're criminals. Like, they deserve this. Yeah, and it's just like no, like, some of like, they're human. Like, especially they're innocent people. Some of them are citizens that are just, you know, being mistaken as like
just profiled,
just profiled, being labeled as criminals, when in reality they haven't done anything.
Well,
like,
yeah, because to me it's just like, it's like that comment that the person you talked to is like, all right, well, first it starts off like, oh, well, they're here illegally, and then they're just saying, well, all Latinos, and then they're just saying people who are born with birthright citizenship. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like that's something to me where I'm like, well, what crime was there committed? Like, before you know it, then they're just, their existence was a crime, I guess. Yeah, and that's the kind of precedent you're setting for their treatment. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just in treatment in general. I mean, he seems to keep alluding to just like, it doesn't matter if like a Latino is a citizen or not. So to me, like a lot of when I see the alligator facilities, I don't think about like, oh, like what poor conditions like these immigrants are gonna be put into. I mean, I do think about that, but like I also think that that's just poor conditions that's being normalized in the country of how the government can treat just people.
Yeah.
Like regardless, like whether or not they're immigrants or they're citizens, the government is normalizing that they'll literally build facilities with alligators and snakes like floating around this fucking like camp, and that's how they, and you should just accept that you can treat people like this. The government can take away people's freedoms and put them in these fucking like ridiculous like prisons, like shark infested waters, James Bond type shit.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you said it better than I did. That's exactly what
it's just like, I just mean like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it just I don't think people can connect that dot of like, but the government is just humanizing people, period. Like regardless of who they are, they're dehumanizing people, period. And this is just the start. Yeah. Because this is just like, if nobody gives a fuck about like them building facilities like this, it enables them to take it a step further.
Yeah. Well, I guess because that's why when we talked about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and how he's just a citizen and they just sent him to Puerto Rico. It's like you said, they could just treat anybody like that. He didn't do anything wrong. They just decided, let's just send him to Puerto Rico. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a scary precedent that they just treat people like that. Period.
I also just think that, I don't know, the stuff that Trump sometimes says, like, I think you sent it of when he was saying that he would arrest the NYC mayor. Yeah. If he defies like ICE, like he would get him arrested. And I'm just like, to say like those things of like just harassment, just like threatening people of like, I'm gonna have you arrested if you do these things.
It's Zoran Mandani, right? So it started because they asked him what if he was elected mayor of New York City, what he would do if Benjamin Netanyahu came to New York, and he said, I would arrest him because there's a warrant for his arrest because there's an international warrant for his arrest because of war crimes, right? Yeah, that's what he said. And then I think Trump responded to that, kind of being like, well, I would arrest him because he's a communist and can't have no communists in the United States, which is bullshit. Like, I don't know. I just think.
Yeah, because at least on paper, Netanyahu does have an actual warrant for his arrest. And I just think the mayor is just like.
Well, I just think it's crazy because there's a lot of layers with that, which is like we come full circle with the whole Red Scare thing. Because I don't think most people really even understand communism or what it is. Yeah. But what they're accusing him of, because what he suggested is he would freeze rent. I think he wants the city to own grocery stores to have more control over the groceries and the prices and stuff like that. And so basically he wants to like feed people and make sure they have housing. And so that's, to him, that's like communism and scary and a criminal offense. But Netanyahu like is wiping out an entire population. But
it is weird because I think at least for the politicians and Trump or whatever, it's scary for them because they operate through a capitalistic system. But for the average citizen, it makes no sense why you would be against that communist approach, because it only really benefits you. Like, because it's easier to basically get like cheaper housing and cheaper food. But obviously for politicians, it destroys the free market, which is why they would be afraid of it. But it makes no sense why the average person would care about that.
Is it?
You know what I mean?
Is it even a free market? You know what I
mean? Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Because I mean the businesses own all the stuff, right? Yeah. So I get what you mean, but that's what I mean by like only they would be have a problem with it, because they take advantage of the free market.
The free market.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. I don't know. Scary times.
Yeah, complex political stuff.
I feel like it's been to me, I just keep being like, especially, I mean, this is barely the first year.
Hasn't even been a year.
I know. Is that crazy?
I just feel like
we got 3 more years of this.
To me, I keep becoming like we're doomed kind of thing. Yeah. Because it's just hard. Because I think I can't escape it anywhere. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I mean, we talk about it, but it's to bring like awareness and just like to talk about it because this is something serious that everybody should be taking serious. But it like it just follows me everywhere where it's like at work, right? Like we're dealing with everything that's going on at work and feeling unsafe, feeling like everybody's pretending like there's nothing else going on in the world, right? And then you hear more about the policies that Trump keeps trying to like have. And to me, I just keep becoming like, is this ever going to be over kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, is this like just a never ending thing?
It's funny.
Because then it's also like, I think, again, personally, I just feel like, to me, I think in some way I become a little panicked because of the things that people were like, oh, no, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do this. And I was like, you really think he's not going to do it? And like now he's sort of going to his word, which like, again, like this is another one that people have been like, oh, he's not going to do it, of him going into another term. But it's just like at this point, it just seems like anything is possible.
Yeah, I get you. It's interesting too that you bring that up because I had a conversation with a friend where they told me that they felt very overwhelmed with everything that's going on in the United States. And they felt like they can't escape it. Like anywhere they go on their phone, they see like an updates about the "I fucking hate you" bill, or I mean the Big Beautiful bill, or other shit like the Alligator Alcatraz and stuff.
Well, I think. Oh, good. Sorry.
And I was just gonna say, and I think it is true. It is everywhere because yesterday I went to go get food. I went to go get Wingstop, and I ate there, and so I was by myself, and then I didn't have signal, so I was just eating my food, just kind of like in the area, and I heard the workers, and it's interesting because they all look really young. They're probably for sure between 18 to 21 years old, working back there. And it was like this group of 3 guys, all obviously Hispanic or Latino. And they were talking about Alligator Alcatraz. And the oldest guy was showing them videos and was like, have you heard about that? Like that he's like bringing alligators and he's trying to get them all in there. And it was crazy to see like them very visibly shook by like the video that they were watching that the older coworker was showing them.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It really is just everywhere. Like it's unable to skip. Even me just eating my meal. There's like people learning about it right there.
I think what's also like scary, crazy, dude. Like I know we talk about it a lot, but why would we stop talking about it? Is all the ICE raids.
Yeah.
Again, without giving out where we are, they're like right here all the time. Like what is it? Like a mile from here, or you know what I'm talking about? They've been there like 3 or 4 times. They're always like right there. That's terrifying. You know, like I feel for the people who. Because I saw this article about how children of Latinos who are street workers are having to step in to take over their business. Yeah. And that's, I mean, well, there's a lot of things. I think that's a noble endeavor. They shouldn't have to do that. Yeah. But what choice do they have, you know? I think that's terrifying. I know people personally who've had to quit their jobs to then take over the business, you know, of their families thing because, you know, their families are at risk.
Yeah.
You know, it's scary. Like my dad was telling me the other day, his doctor was telling him about how, like, you know how sometimes you see like the neighborhood like gardener or like who works the houses like around there, that they picked him up the other day. And that his truck, they just left his truck, all his supplies like
yeah, bro.
There,
it's like
I heard about that too.
Prevalent to see, like,
you know,
it's crazy.
It's crazy because it's like it's almost like 2 worlds going on because they're in Pasadena a lot right now.
They're in here. They're in this neighborhood,
they're here, but they're also in Pasadena a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy because I was in Pasadena going for my eye doctor, the optometrist. It's crazy seeing the kind of like 2 worlds. Like on one hand, there's people of a certain demographic kind of going about their day, like the happy fucking wanderer, don't even give a shit. And there's people who are terrified, justifiably so, because you could get the call, or I should say, not get the call, right? One day your parents just aren't there. Your brother's just not there. Your family friends just isn't there. Yeah. You know, that's like a scary reality to always be walking around with. You know, like I said, I'm privileged enough to where the status of my family in term like who could be affected, they have their papers, right? But I can't imagine the people who like don't have that luxury. Like what's going on in their mental health right now? Like, cause I don't like, you know, obviously there's not even enough time to probably even process that, but to be constantly waking up every day, going to bed, going about your day thinking, fuck dude, what if I come home, my mom's just not there? What if I come home, my dad's just not there? what if I don't fucking come home? You know, because they profile people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what was there's like a statistic that there's a bunch of people who are detained. It's like 30% of them, 40-50% of them, nonviolent, that they have no record. That was a firework. They have no record, or they have legal status, right?
Yeah.
That's scary, man. That's
No,
scary.
yeah. I feel like it also put me to think a lot more because my mom's birthday just passed.
Yeah.
And I remember she was inviting people for her birthday. And a lot of people said that they didn't want to come because they didn't feel safe to come.
Yeah,
And,
bro.
like,
It's crazy.
It made me sad.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you, like, want to celebrate because, like, it's my mom's birthday, right? And, like, to hear that, like, her friends don't feel safe enough to even leave their houses. And, I mean, we've been hearing, too, that, like, a lot of them have canceled, like, their quinceañeras, like, like, all that stuff. Like, and it's just so sad because it's, like, I guess because, like, to me, like, I grew up seeing these people. I've seen them, like, at a very young age, and, like, to see that they're all scared to, like, leave their houses to do just, like, one small party for their kids. Like, it's just so sad. And I think I felt it more because it was, like, for my mom's birthday. And, like, to hear that, like, they were just scared to leave. And, like, I think to me, it was just, like, I wanted to celebrate my mom, you know, like,
Yeah.
I wanted, like, my mom to have a good time. And people still showed up. Like, some people who had told her that they were scared to come still ended up coming.
Yeah.
Which, like, I was happy about because I was like, that's good. Like, I felt like my mom was a little sad, but she was understanding. Like, she was
For sure.
completely understanding that, like, people didn't feel safe. And she's like, I completely understand. Like, we're, like, if not a lot of people are going to come and it'll just be, like, your uncles and your aunts, like our friends. It's fine if they don't come. Like, understandable. She was completely understanding about it.
Yeah.
But I think to me, it just, like, was just sad to, like,
Oh, no, me too.
to, like, know
thought it
that
was sad.
reality of, like, people are genuinely terrified to leave.
For sure. I mean, like, and again, like, it's like we mentioned before, it's frustrating to, like, have to explain why, because people know get it, right? But no, that's another thing you bring up too is, again, I know somebody, albeit indirectly, who also had to postpone their quinceañera, which I was like, damn, what a, like, unfortunate sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because it's a big cultural, like, moment.
Yeah.
You know, and then to be like, well, I have to, because, like, family, my own safety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's frustrating because, like, other things you hear people talk about, oh, like, our generation didn't get a graduation because of COVID. You know what I mean? And people will make a big deal of that, which, again, valid, right? But then you hear about all these other things, whether it's a birthday party, a family gathering, seeing your mom, you know, or your sister, or having, like, a moment of, you know, quinceañera. It's a big cultural deal.
Yeah.
And just having to say, well, I don't know, maybe next year,
Yeah.
is very,
I think also just in that thing too of they prepared for this day.
yeah.
Like, they spent so much money for this day for them to just cancel it, which, like, good reasoning, right?
yeah.
Like, you don't want to risk. And I remember my mom kept being like, I don't want to eventually be at fault that they left their house and then something actually did happen
Yeah,
to
for
them.
sure.
And so, like, understandable, right? They, like, canceled all these things. And I think for a kid too, like, that's, like, heartbreaking. Like, you're looking forward to this day and it doesn't happen. And, like, you're just kind of, like, so, like, disappointed in it, which, like, you know, I assume that they were very understanding because they understand, right?
Yeah.
They're kids, like, they're older, they understand why. But I think to me, it's the same thing of, like, you're taking this part away from them because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
A disruptive moment in their life.
Yeah, it's I mentioned it before the show, but it's just crazy because the city is actively being, like, targeted by the raids.
Yeah.
Like, I mentioned, like, in this neighborhood, they've set up camp at the nearest Home Depot from here, and the mechanic that works next to my dad's shop, he also shut down for a few days because he's also afraid of being taken. So it's frustrating in the sense to know that, like, people not even that people don't care. There's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's just frustrating to have to constantly live with between two worlds where you're still expected to go to work and act like nothing's happening, but still live so closely to so many people who are afraid.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really frustrating and heartbreaking to be not, I don't know, like to just be in this world, in this society of having to balance that a lot of people in your community like that are Mexican are afraid, and like reasonably so.
Yeah.
That's why oh no.
I was gonna say, like, briefly, like, too, like, what I find annoying, not annoying, but like, again, frustrating, is what a twisted reality that is. Like, a mechanic, right? That's a service. That's like an essential service to society. You need a car to go somewhere in LA, and he has to shut down. Like, that's a service. Like, there's so many things. Like, obviously, he needs to feed his family. He needs to work, right? But it's not like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it in words. Maybe it comes out jumbled. But it's like such a twisted reality that, like, his crime or what he needs to stop doing is stop going to work. You get what I mean? Yeah. Like, any other crime, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's so twisted to me. Like, oh, he's not really committing. It's just him. Like, oh yeah, like, they're trying to get him at work. Because I was thinking, again, my dad was also talking. I'm trying to tread lightly on who it is. My dad was also talking to somebody who he knows who's undocumented, and they were just talking, like, shooting the shit. And he was like, "Yo, so how you feeling? How you doing?" And he was like, "I'm scared, bro, but I have to work. Like, I have a family to feed. Like, I have no choice." You know, like, heartbreaking and twisted reality to me is like, these people are going to work to feed their families and to offer services to society, whether it's a mechanic, a laborer, picking fruit that you eat, that you buy. These are essential services, you know, that people rely on and need, and they're getting picked up doing that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's so scary, so twisted. So like, because you remember when COVID was happening, all these people were like, "Oh, I'm an essential service, this and that." And again, Val, I'm not trying to shit talk them, but like, do you remember how Trump was making this big deal about how, like, oh, these people, like, there's a service and we can't stop the country because of this and that. But the second it gets shifted to immigrants or the Latino community, no service. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I get what you mean. Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's like a lot of these people who are afraid are very big contributors to society here in the United States. Yeah. And it sucks that, like, they're very heavily criminalized and demonized. And, like, what we're talking about with Alligator Alcatraz, like, they're basically being sent to these maximum security prisons for simply just being in this country, despite being huge contributors to society, being the essential workers that were apparently so important during COVID, now are being mistreated like they're less than human.
Exactly. Who will, and I obviously there's a huge I don't want to get it twisted. There's a huge diaspora of what immigrants do and what are capable of. But they're targeting these people in these areas, whether it's laborers, people who you out there watching rely on to keep your car running, like how Steve said, to keep your garden, your pristine lawn clean, who you won't get out there and do it, to build like these in these dangerous construction. You know, it's a hard job. You know, to who sell you food, who are out there selling fruit on 100-degree weather, you know, who are giving you stuff, and their crime is that they you know, are doing that, you know. It's frustrating. It's a frustrating reality too. And then some of the people who get picked up too, it's like they're leaving behind kids. You know, there's people who I know who are adults who have kids that are 13, 14. What's going to happen to those kids? You know, you don't hear about that, which I also find frustrating and annoying, because it's like they do this without thought of the consequence. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, well, they're a criminal. Yeah. But they have a family. They have kids to feed who are going to school. What's their crime? They're legal citizens. They, again, also contribute to society in tons of ways, like we talked about. We've had guests on, and we know people who work at their family business even as a child, You know what I mean? Like that's even also crazy to me too.
Yeah.
Is it's like these children who you're trying to get rid of their birthright citizenship are also contributors to society, and they shouldn't have to be. You know what I mean? Like they're expected to like prove their worth in like a crazy way. But there's so many kids who I've known, who you've known, who you talked about, who at the young age of like 10 have to step up and be the cashier, the translator, read legal documents, and again, contribute to society in a lot of ways that, no offense, a lot of you people will never understand or know or be able to relate to.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're being punished for that. You know, with the reality that they might come home and their mom's not there. Mm-hmm. The reality that they might come home and they just can't find their dad or their friends or whatever it is, you know? That's shocking to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I won't stop saying it enough. It's crazy to me that they have to go to schools and work and places where people are genuinely offering something to people. You know what I mean? Like, what a sick, twisted reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll have you believe that these people are mooching off and they're not giving anything to society. But the only place they can ever find them or target them is in meaningful places to society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is fucking insane to me that people don't see the twisted irony in that.
I think it's also crazy that even, especially because there was graduation season, right? That people had to have, I guess, law enforcement to protect the schools so that ICE wouldn't come in during graduations. Like people celebrating, like some, whatever that is, right? Because for some families, that's hard, right? Like having to pay for school, having to have your kids go to school and managing like work, life, your kids and all these things. And they're finally going through this milestone of graduating, whether it's middle school, high school, elementary, college, whatever that is, like going through that milestone and then having to be scared that you're going to be taken and separated from your families. Like, I think that's why to me, when like people are like, why are people protesting? Like there's this frustration, like people are just getting taken, separated. And I think that's why there's the frustration with me when people are like, why are they doing that? Like, why, like, they're disrupting, like, they're blocking the freeways and all these things. And I'm like, but they're disrupting people from just living their lives as well. Like, they're getting them at work. They're getting them at school. They're getting them at even sports events sometimes where, like, people are scared to just go out anywhere. And I'm just like, how can you guys not see how horrible this is? That people are, like, their lives are being changed. They have to do a whole different thing. There's people who don't want to show up to work anymore. Like, how are you guys not getting that? Like, this is just a horrible time for a lot of people. Like, how can you guys not understand or see that, you know?
Like, I genuinely think it's like somebody's like civic duty to like protect your neighbors, like the people who are most vulnerable. Like, I like that poster. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where it's like the government is kidnapping your neighbors. What are you gonna do about it? I think that's a very powerful statement. I think that like now more than ever, because I do feel the frustration of having to live in two worlds. And I think that frustration, for me at least, in my own perspective, comes from, I just hope that the fellow citizens and anybody in the United States, whoever it is, it doesn't matter whether you're like black, white, like Latino, and undocumented. I genuinely think it's your civic duty to protect those who are the most vulnerable right now. Because people are afraid. People are genuinely afraid. Like, it's just heartbreaking to see. And I think more than ever do I feel like I need that unity, and I think we all need that unity.
For sure.
I think especially now, like, for sure we just need each other. Because, of course, the government now is not going to protect us. Like, any of us, whether that's, like, the Latino community, with, like, everything going on. Because it starts with, I guess, us, right? And then who knows who it will be the next target. And I think that's why for us as just, you know, the people, like all of us humans, like we should just protect each other because the government won't do it for us.
I agree.
What were you were before Steve said that? What were you saying?
I was talking about the protests.
The protest. Yeah, I think that's also like a frustrating reality, because it's like, well, it's already frustrating that some people just don't get it, but it's also frustrating that there's not even an attempt to try to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's immediately like, what are they doing? They're burning Waymos. Like, I've seen, like, the way people react when you mention, like, gun control. It's unreal. Like, if you take their guns, insane. But you can't fathom people reacting like this when they're trying to take away their mother or their father or their children or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know? Like, how can you not even try to attempt to understand that, right? They get all crazy if you suggest you shouldn't wave the Confederate flag or their statues. You take away a slave owner's statue.
Yeah.
They fucking burn down a city. But you can't understand
or you can't even like try and fight for the people who like are trying to live a good life the same way that you are.
Yeah, it's frustrating because it's like you'll immediately go and benefit or take these essential services from these people. Like, people will go to that mechanic shop and be like, "Oh, I need my car fixed." Or people will go to those street vendors. "Oh yeah, I'm hungry." Or people will go and pick up those workers who need work at Home Depot, which is where the ICE is at.
Yeah,
you'll gladly take those services, but you won't say anything.
Or drink a paloma at a bar.
I also just think like it's crazy how they're targeting places, and it's just like they're so stereotypical. Yeah. You know, like they're like, this is where we think they're gonna be hanging out, so we're gonna go raid that place. Yeah. And I just think it's like crazy that's how they kind of profile it. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna go to these places because we know they're gonna be there.
Well, and then that's how people get profiled or get picked up when they have documentation, is because they're just profiling them. Like, because I think that's crazy. How do you even visually discern that somebody's undocumented unless you're assuming?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Just racial profile.
Yeah, you're just racial profiling people. Yeah, what a twisted reality, man.
Yeah. But I mean, my whole point, and not my whole point, but I think what I take out of this conversation is that I just see the only way through with unity. Like, I think that I like to believe everybody listening already cares a lot, and I think everybody does. I'm more concerned for people in our community who don't care, or even not even don't care, try to ignore. I don't think right now that you should try to ignore. Yeah. Like, I don't think you should try to ignore. It's, at least for us who live in the city, specifically Los Angeles, it's pretty impossible to ignore it. Like I said, they're literally in my neighborhood constantly here. Like, and you see the videos online, you hear about them, you feel the fear in the community. So I almost don't even feel like sometimes, like, I think I'm frustrated too, because I'm like, and I can't even lecture or even educate people in our community, because I'd be really surprised if you don't just feel it already.
Yeah.
Like, where do you live if you don't feel it?
Well, I think it's also like why I think it's important for people to talk about it, because like I don't know how, like you said, I don't know how you can't get it, but that's what people are living with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, genuinely, if you don't have to deal with that, imagine that. Like, to people who, like, I don't know, that almost seems like, I'm sure to some people who don't have to worry about their families, like legal status, that's like a dystopian reality to you of one day the government can just kidnap my family. You know what I mean? But that's a reality for some people. You know, that's a daily reality, and it's been a daily reality for a long time, and it's becoming more and more a reality. You know, that's why I think it's important for people to like speak up as much as possible. That's why I think when people talk about it, the Dodgers and all these things, is, dude, yeah, I don't know, it's just crazy, because it's like, how can you chastise somebody for speaking up when it's like, yeah, bro, they want protection, they want help, they want support. Yeah, like the government, the literal government, the police, everybody, all authorities are not looking out for this community, and they need help. Yeah. And so of course they're gonna rally for support. Of course they want their sports teams that are profiting off the community to say something, say, hey, like, we stand with these people to help, because I don't know, like I said, like we keep saying, it's frustrating to have to explain, but these sports teams pay these politicians. Of course it would mean something if they would say, hey, like, leave our community alone, or we stand with them. We're not going to support you if you keep doing this, you know? So I don't understand the whole, like, what do you call it? The nitpicking of being like, why do I have to talk about it? Yeah. Why do you keep talking about it?
Or keep politics out of sports.
Yeah.
I just feel like, to me, it's just like, how can you guys support this?
Yeah.
Like, how can you see, like, this is so inhumane, and how can you guys just stand there and not say anything?
Yeah.
And like your workers, your fans, like all these people fall into the category that is being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And how is it that you can't say anything and just because I don't know, I always think about, you know, how they always talk about like in history, right? How is it that nobody said anything? And it's like we're clearly seeing it that they see it and they're aware of it. They just choose not to say anything about it because they benefit from that side that is being evil.
Yeah.
And I think to me, I'm just like, I guess every time I see something like happening, I'm just like, how could they go to the White House and like shake his hand?
Yeah.
And like be for him, give him a jersey.
Yeah.
And then act like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
That there's nothing going on, that their fans, their workers are not being targeted.
Yeah.
Like, how can you guys not see and just stand there and say
especially,
nothing?
especially a lot of those players are like from minority groups. Then even
they're
the
all
fucking
from out of the
coach.
country.
Yeah.
Like,
even the coach, like, it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. I mean, now more than ever, right? As it develops, it gets even crazier,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I guess moving on, because I mean, we could talk about this literally all day.
Yeah.
So we should probably move on.
Well,
but
I guess
go ahead,
also before like we move on, I think that's something that like, I don't know. I don't even know what you do, but I think that's something that should be talked about and commended. Is there's a lot of people that we all know, right, who are directly affected, whether it's their parents, their partners, or just anyone close to them. What a intense mental toll that's taking on these people right now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like you see it, you know, what an immense toll
Yeah.
that it has to be to walk around carrying that reality that, I might come home and my mom's not there. You know what I mean? I think that's what takes a lot of strength and a lot of grace. And I feel like, I just think that can't be commended enough, how strong that community is of children, of supporters who are directly affected, who show up and protest. And I don't know, I just don't think that gets commended enough. All those people who are stepping up, like the people who have to step up and take over their family's business to make sure their parents are safe. I think that's probably one of the bravest and most commendable things I've seen in a long time. It sucks that has to be the reality, but I hope that people who are affected or that is their reality, that strength is seen, you know, and I commend you for having to do that. You know what I mean?
and now more than ever, do we need to show people's with migrants'
support.
families and migrant
and
people support?
Because, you know, like I know that's affecting them. You know what I mean? I mean, I can't really say more. Like, you know, it's like, what can I say that, you know what I mean?
No, I get you. You okay, Julie?
Yeah.
What's up? What are you thinking of?
I'm just like, it's just so sad. I think for me, I've been like, I guess it's hard because, like, I think, especially, like, I know we always talk about it on here, but I think in daily life, I feel like I'm always talking about it to people. And sometimes I'm just like, I feel like I don't want to be seen as that person who's always, like, talking about these things, especially at work. But I'm just like, it's just hard. And I don't know. I think to me, I'm just like, I think mentally, I've just been going through it. And it's just, like, hard. Because it's, like, I think just always being afraid, right? Of, like, of everything. Of, like, even before this, I was just being afraid about society and, like, how society treats women. And, like, and I think this is just, like, another add-on to be, like, now I'm afraid that, like, my family is going to get targeted. And, like, because, like, ever since all this happened, I always keep thinking, like, and I'm glad that you're there. And I'm always just, like, I'm always scared that, like, our parents being by themselves and, like, something happens. And, like, that's just a fear, right?
Yeah,
that
I
I
get
just
you.
live with.
No, I get you.
Because it's just, like, anything can happen, right? Like, and especially with us, like, the fact that, like, citizenship, like, being born here is getting threatened. Like, we can get profiled at any moment. And I'm just, like, it's that fear of, like, anything can happen.
No, 100%.
And I think to me, it's just, like, mentally, I just been going through it, and I mean, I talked to like my boyfriend about it, and I'm just like, it's just crazy, and like he's understanding and like supportive, and like he worried about our parents like when they left and stuff like that, and I was just like, it's just like a hard time,
No,
and
I
I
get
think
you.
to me, I just feel for like the kids that also have to like change their lives for their parents right now,
Yeah.
and I think it's just like so frustrating to think that like this is the reality that we are in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a beautiful perspective to kind of showcase the one that you're having, because I think that the reason why, at least I feel overwhelmed with my emotions, and I know you do too, is because we know all these people are good people. Like there's not a single person that I think of it's a criminal or does, I don't know, like any horrendous shit
Mm.
that they demonize like immigrants as. So we feel for them because we know they're like every other people, just
Yeah.
trying to be good people and
For
get
sure.
a job.
Like I said, that's why I keep bringing up the like twisted irony of it all. Of like all the people that I know who are affected, honest work. All they do is honest work, essential work. Like, I genuinely think about like that's. I think that's a powerful story about how the mechanic at your shop had to shut down. Like, I can't think of like there's not a lot of things that I think are as essential as that. You know what I mean? That's how do you get to work? How do you get to? You need a car in LA,
Yeah.
and that's just an essential service that they're being provided.
Mm-hmm.
But you go on the news and they'll, or the politicians who are behind this, or the people who are in support of this, they'll paint it as like, oh, these illegal immigrants who are here like mooching off of, you're mooching off of them, you fucking asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get to demonize them and shit talk them and take away their rights and dehumanize them. But you're the people who go and will benefit off of their hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or benefit of even just demonizing them.
Yeah.
Because
you know?
now you don't get all these people pointing the finger at you. You can sway them and make them point the
Yeah.
finger at them.
Because all these politicians are like these fucking people who are criticizing or whatever.
Yeah.
They would never do that work. They don't have the spine or the what do you call it? The
no.
courage, conviction, the strength it takes to do that kind of laborious work.
Yeah.
Like that takes a lot, man. Or going out there and picking the food that you eat. That's hard work. Being bent over all day, just picking for hours on end in the heat in the summer when there's fires and they have no choice but to be out there. You know, like that's hard fucking work that you would never do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's bullshit that they get to paint all these people as moochers when you're the moochers. You get to mooch off of their hard work and you pay them pennies and treat them like shit. That's cowardice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
And I also think all the people who don't like speak up or who are against like or who are in support of this, I think those people are fucking obviously bad people, but I think you're a coward and you don't stand for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the ultimate cowardice to not like speak. Oh, excuse me. I think that's the gets me going. I think
Your body's just
it gets my engines revving.
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate like cowardice. Like you don't stand for anything.
makes you sick to your stomach.
Exactly. It's like you don't stand for anything. You don't stand up for people.
Yeah.
That was looking funny. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good diffusion.
To also like end it, I think for sure the most important thing to do if you can is support these small businesses. Because I keep thinking about like El Mercadito, where they're like saying that it's also getting affected because like a lot of people don't want to go to work, because it's being targeted, or like the places in like downtown,
Los Callejones,
like I guess to the ones who are still open, like honestly, like I thank a lot your bravery and like your courage to still keep like going to work every day. But I think that's like a big thing if you're in LA to still support a lot of the businesses that are getting affected by all the ice raids for the people who are shutting down. And then whenever they open back up, if you guys can support them for sure. Yeah. I would say go out to them. 'Cause even just like different places, like I think we went to Little Tokyo and like the areas are like, you know, boarded up and stuff. Because of just everything that was going on, and like and I think it was nice to see that they had a sign that said like in Little Tokyo, it's like run by
Yeah.
immigrants and like everybody's welcomed here.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that because I think that's like the unity that we're kind of talking about, to see that of like the different communities sort of coming together and being like, you guys are safe here kind of thing. So just any of those like small businesses that you guys can support.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
In these moments.
And I think if you can speak up, you should speak up. Don't be a coward. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you can speak up and you're not choosing not to, I think you're being a coward.
Mhm.
Like, I don't understand why you're not. I mean, I think you should, like you said, it's a civic duty, and I think just a decent human being would protect someone who's vulnerable if you can.
Yeah.
Like, it's so simple too. Like, whether you see ICE, like, report it or say something or post it on your fucking story. Keep people safe, man. Like, I don't see what's so hard about that.
Mhm.
Like, if you have the ability to do that,
Yeah.
like, you should speak up, stand for something, man. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree.
Don't be such a coward. I think you're a coward if you don't speak up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But Julie, do you want to save your pink pill for next week, or you want to go into it?
I'll save it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. We did
Yeah.
have a long.
Emotional,
Yeah.
real talk.
I get you. It was
Yeah, but
it
I
was a
mean,
lot.
I don't know. Like,
but it was good. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad that we can talk about
yeah,
this.
like I think I think we should talk about that. I think it's important to share. You know, gives people an perspective into the reality that people face.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I think it
Yeah.
should. I think it should be talked about, the mental health, the mental toll it takes on
Yeah.
these children. And
Especially because like not all our listeners live obviously in Los Angeles, but damn, bro, it's crazy how prevalent ICE is in the city.
right now,
Like
yeah.
we really feel it right now.
they're everywhere.
And
Yeah.
we're at the end of the we're at
It's
the end
July,
of
yeah.
June. Yeah.
Yeah.
When,
So-
and it started in the very beginning of June.
Yeah.
and
It's-
it doesn't
it's really
seem to be
prevalent.
slowing down.
So-
I mean, they
unfortunately.
also got their money.
The
So
big
Yeah.
beautiful bill.
yeah.
Bullshit.
the
The
fucking-
I fucking hate you
the
bill.
fucking I fucking hate you, Bill. I know. Yeah.
But before we go, gonna have to give
Oh, yeah.
a quick thank to our
Our
Patreons.
patrons. Wait, let me get all the names.
Who keep us running.
Who
Keep us running, keep us
and-
motivated.
If
keep
you guys
us-
want to keep supporting us.
Yeah. Shout out to Yoel, Eli Quintero, Stephen Carvajal, Altadena Rebuild, and Diana Lara. Thank you so much for your patronage. We really appreciate it. If anybody out there listening wants to join the Patreon, our link is always in the description. Thank you so much to everybody who listened. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.